Hey powerful people, I'm going to tell you how this torpedo helped me overcome fear when I was younger and kind of helps now direct me today. So this is a pool toy, and what you do with it, you just throw it underwater, it glides really nicely. And when I was younger, my dad and I played with it a lot. We do still play with it today, but for the purpose of this, we'll talk about when I was younger. And when I was learning to swim, I had a fear of going into the deep end, like probably a lot of people did when they were younger, and some people still do today. And my fear probably was related to not being close to the air or just going down into the depths of water. Whatever it was, I was afraid to do it. And we'd always play with this in the shallow end. But one day, my dad decided to intentionally kind of throw it out of my reach so it would go into the deep end. And without hesitation, I turned around, got a big, deep breath, took a dive, kicked my feet, held my breath, and grabbed the torpedo. So this was important for a couple reasons. One, it showed me that I had the skills all along to do it. Whether or not that was a fear at the time, I don't remember. But two, it showed me that because my motivation and focus on the torpedo was so intense, I forgot about the fear. And it made the fear irrational and irrelevant. So, maybe you have something in your life that you're afraid to do, and you need to find that sort of motivation that makes the fear irrelevant. You need a goal so big and a focus so straight and intense that the fear becomes something that just seems stupid, right? Or even if it doesn't seem stupid, it just seems so unworth your time because the goal is so much bigger. And whether that fear is asking a girl out, jumping out of a career into a new one, moving to a new city, whatever it is, we all have fears when we go into new sort of situations or when we have to overcome things. And now there's tons of things I have to work on with my fears, but I want to share with you a technique that is super helpful in overcoming these fears, and it's called fear setting by Ferriss. So fear setting is made up of 3 parts. And the first part is where we really understand what the fear is. So on this first sheet here, I've got the 3 different categories. So it's define, prevent, and repair. So with define, it means you just really want to know what the fear is. One of my fears is with my business of having content that's not valuable or people don't like, so they don't engage it and don't interact with me and don't hire me. So this is one of my fears of people just not liking my content and seeing value in it. So when we move on to the next part of this, prevent, I have to think of some things that I can do to help prevent the content that I put out there from being irrelevant. So what I can do is talk to people I know about the ideas I'm thinking about and get their feedback. I can do some research on what content people are looking for in the first place, what they're Googling. And then the last part here is repair. So what would happen if I did post content and my fear came true? That no one liked it, that I got hate mail and people blasted me in the comments, whatever. So what would happen? How would I repair that? Well, I could do a couple of things. I could go back and talk to those people and say, well, what content do you want? What don't you like about my content? And that's one way I can do it. I can go back and say, well, is this the direction for me anyway? Is there another direction that really hits with who I am that people may resonate with more? So with this process, you really define what the fear is, figure out ways that you can keep that fear from becoming a reality, and even if it does, you can see the actionable ways that you can repair that and make jumping into that activity or whatever a lot less fearful, because now you know the steps it takes to repair that. So the second part of this is the benefits of partial or total success. So for me, jumping into posting content would be partial success of just people responding well and me getting a client or two out of it. Even if I'm not reaching my total goal of, say, 10 clients a month, even if I get one or two, that's amazing because that's partial success and gets me momentum. So the partial success of this is a little bit of a financial bump, some confidence, some momentum with my business, and I can always get feedback from these people as well, why they liked my content and why they signed up with me. So even the partial success is a huge milestone compared to where I am right now, not doing anything, not posting any content. So as I post content like this, I gain that confidence, I gain that momentum, and I gain the ability to potentially add some clients. And then the last part of this is the cost of inaction. So you do here is you put 3 categories of 6 months, 1 year, and 3 years. You list out any sort of consequence of inaction in these different timelines. So whether that's financial, whether that's emotional, relationships, whatever it is in your life, you have to list those out. So in 6 months, the cost of not taking action and posting content is I'm not getting that feedback. I'm not getting momentum. I'm not gaining confidence. I'm not potentially gaining some financial benefits. In a year, it's I don't have the freedom to do what I want with my time because I'm still working for someone else on their time and based on what they're willing to pay me. Again, I'm not gaining that confidence and the skills to be able to grow my business in momentum and confidence. In 3 years, I'm not able to spend the time and have the flexibility as we grow our family and start having kids. We can't travel like we want to. Can't start saving and put money down on a house when we do have kids as well. I can't give back to my parents because they've given so much to me. So these are all really big things, and whether or not I take the action is going to determine the outcomes on these things. So one of the big parts of this is you tally the level of the consequence of the fear and the cost of the inaction. So 1 is it's not going to be life altering, won't really affect you, maybe affect you for a day or two and you'll move on. 10 would be super life altering. You're going to have a total breakdown. You're going to lose everything. So what we do here is with the define section is I would go back and say, well, what would happen if my fear did come true and that I did get rejected from people on the internet? It'll hurt. My ego will definitely be a little bit bruised and might set me back for a day or two, make me feel like, okay, why am I doing this? Am I good at this? But really, it's maybe a 3 or 4 in terms of life altering, maybe even less. But then when we hop over to the cost of the inaction, the consequences of not taking that action are a lot larger. I would consider most of these 8, 9s with not having the freedom of time, the financial benefits, the confidence and motivation to keep going, the momentum with that. So clearly the cost of the inaction is a lot more than the cost of the rejection from posting content and just learning as I go from that. So whatever your fear is, this is a great way to help you understand what that fear is and really get a clearer picture on how bad is it if I fail, if I try this. If I don't fail, how amazing is it going to be? Even if I reach that partial success, like the second part of that process. So maybe you need to find something in your life we'll call the torpedo effect. Something that will make you turn around, dive down, kick your feet, kick it into high gear. You'll have such pinpoint focus that nothing else can distract you. Your fears won't slow you down. They won't stop you because they'll just become irrelevant compared to what you can attain. And even if you don't think you have the skills to do it, remember, you probably do, because if you've been thinking about it long enough, you've probably researched it enough to know what to do. You just need to step out and do it. So if you guys want to do this fear setting worksheet, the link is in the description below for that worksheet. Please reach out to me. If you have any questions on how to do it, I'll put my link for Instagram down below so you can reach out to me there and follow me there as well. I hope you guys enjoy this content. Please like and subscribe so I know you're following along. It helps the algorithm know what to show you guys, and it helps me as well get more views so I can keep sharing these sort of messages with everyone. I hope you guys have a great day and can conquer your fears.